75-year-old man. He didn't suffer. He didn't call for help. He simply closed his eyes and never woke up. A 75-year-old man, who was generally healthy by most accounts, had gone without a sound for several days. The doctors found no heart attack, no stroke, and no apparent cause. But behind the stillness was a story, a pattern, quiet choices made night after night, small habits that didn't look dangerous until they were. He wasn't alone. Across the country, millions of older adults are unknowingly putting their lives at risk, not through what they do during the day, but through what they overlook at night. The late-night meals, the flickering screen in the background, the unshed emotions, the missing light. These aren't just lifestyle quirks. They are quiet thieves of deep sleep, heart health, and mental clarity. And when they build up, the cost isn't just fatigue, it's life itself. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 overlooked bedtime mistakes that affect millions of Americans over 70. Some will surprise you. One of them may sound unimportant, but it could be the key to saving your sleep, your memory, and possibly your life. And at the very end, we'll reveal the most unexpected risk factor of all, one that nearly everyone gets wrong. Stay with us. The truth might unsettle you at first, but what comes after could change your nights forever. Number 1. The death of a 75-year-old man in his sleep may not come from major illness, but from seemingly harmless nighttime habits. Sudden nighttime death in older adults often occurs without dramatic warning signs or chronic disease. One documented case involved a 75-year-old retired educator who passed away during sleep after a seemingly normal evening. No cardiac history, no distress, no recent illness. The medical investigation later revealed mild sleep apnea, reduced oxygen saturation, enlarged heart tissue, and irregular heart rhythms during rest. Though individually subtle, these factors combine to create a vulnerable internal environment during sleep. Studies have validated such patterns. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, 2016, demonstrated a strong correlation between sleep-disordered breathing and increased cardiovascular mortality in individuals over 70. Additional findings from the University of Lausanne in Switzerland showed that repeated nighttime oxygen desaturation significantly raised the risk of fatal cardiac events, particularly in older populations. Warning signs often appear in subtle forms, such as frequent fatigue upon waking, a dry mouth, shortness of breath at night, or episodes of nighttime heart palpitations. These symptoms are often misattributed to natural aging, when in fact they may indicate that key physiological systems are under stress during sleep. During healthy sleep, the body enters critical stages of biological repair, lowering blood pressure, stabilizing heart rhythms, and regulating hormonal balance. Disruptions such as poor sleep posture, late-night eating, warm sleeping environments, or background noise can interfere with these processes. Over time, this disruption weakens the resilience of the heart, lungs, and nervous system. Clinical protocols now recommend several protective habits for adults over 70. Finish dinner at least 3 hours before going to bed. Maintain a sleep position that promotes airway openness and cardiac efficiency, such as sleeping on the left side. Utilize elevated pillows to reduce airway compression and support circulation. Maintain a calm, quiet, and dark sleeping environment, around 65 degrees. Limit alcohol and sedative intake before bed, as these impair oxygen exchange. Use sleep monitoring tools or seek sleep studies if symptoms persist. In one reported case, a 74-year-old veteran experiencing fatigue and irregular sleep patterns underwent a home sleep test, which identified nighttime oxygen desaturation. Following adjustments to mealtime, sleep posture, and screen exposure before bed, the subject experienced marked improvements in blood pressure, energy levels, and sleep quality. These findings confirm that nightly habits, even those considered routine, have cumulative effects on longevity and sleep quality. Sleep is not merely a passive activity. It is an active, life-sustaining process. When protected through intentional routines, sleep supports vital restoration and offers the physiological stability required for the days ahead. Number 2. Carrying negative emotions to bed, such as sadness, anxiety, or loneliness, quietly disrupts cardiovascular balance and impairs restorative sleep. Emotional residue does not simply disappear when the body lies down to rest. For older adults, especially those over 70, the emotional state at bedtime becomes a significant factor in determining how well the body heals during sleep. When negative emotions like worry, grief, or isolation are left unacknowledged, they continue to circulate internally, disrupting the nervous system and placing strain on vital functions throughout the night. Physiologically, these emotions activate the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which elevates cortisol levels and keeps the sympathetic nervous system in a low-grade state of alert. This inhibits the body's ability to shift into the parasympathetic state required for deep, restorative sleep. As a result, heart rate remains slightly elevated, blood pressure may fluctuate unpredictably, and the natural sleep cycle is repeatedly interrupted. This internal turbulence often presents in subtle but recurring patterns: waking up in the early hours with a racing mind, difficulty falling asleep despite physical fatigue, jaw clenching, or feeling unrested in the morning. These disturbances, often mistaken for inevitable signs of aging, are early warnings that unresolved emotional energy is interfering with the body's recovery process. Scientific research supports this connection. A 2020 study published in Sleep Health, a journal of the National Sleep Foundation, reported that older adults experiencing heightened pre-sleep anxiety exhibited significantly greater nighttime blood pressure variability, a key predictor of cardiovascular risk. Findings from Sweden's Karolinska Institute further confirmed that individuals who regularly suppress emotions showed decreased heart rate variability during sleep, another signal of compromised cardiac resilience. Together, these findings underscore that emotional silence can have measurable physical consequences. Fortunately, emotional stress before bed can be softened through gentle, evidence-based practices that restore the body's natural rhythm. One of the most accessible methods is keeping a nightly gratitude journal. By writing down 3 things that brought appreciation or calm during the day, the brain is guided away from fear-based thinking and into a state of emotional balance. A study in applied psychology, health and well-being demonstrated that this practice alone significantly improved both sleep duration and sleep quality within 2 weeks. Other effective techniques include breath regulation exercises, recalling moments of joy, listening to instrumental music with steady rhythms, and speaking aloud positive affirmations or simple prayers. These rituals require no equipment, no expense, and no special training. They only require presence and repetition. Over time, they condition the nervous system to release the day's burdens and invite physiological calm. Emotional balance is not a luxury, especially in older age. It is a protective layer surrounding the heart, brain, and immune system. By making space for peace each night, the body is granted the quiet it needs to mend itself. True rest begins not with sleep, but with the decision to end each day in emotional safety. And in that safety, the body finds its most powerful medicine: stillness. Number 3. Using alcohol as a way to relax before bed may offer temporary calm, but ultimately harms heart function, sleep quality, and breathing during the night. For many, the evening drink is a ritual steeped in routine and memory. A quiet glass of wine, a nightcap poured after dinner, it feels like a gentle farewell to the day, a soothing step towards sleep. But what if that familiar comfort is quietly taking something precious in return? In the later decades of life, the body no longer processes alcohol the way it once did. What used to bring relaxation now begins to interfere with the body's most crucial recovery process: sleep. Alcohol does help people fall asleep faster. It relaxes the nervous system and dulls the edge of stress. However, As the body metabolizes it, typically within 2 to 3 hours after consumption, its effects reverse. Brain activity becomes more erratic, heart rate rises, and the body enters lighter, less restorative sleep stages. Instead of entering deep, slow-wave sleep or REM sleep, the brain cycles unevenly, waking more easily and never fully settling into sleep. For older adults, this disruption is magnified by age-related changes in sleep structure, breathing function, and cardiovascular sensitivity. These changes don't always feel dramatic at first. They might show up as waking multiple times per night, early morning restlessness, or that sense of waking up too early without feeling refreshed. Increased trips to the bathroom, dry mouth, mild chest tightness, or foggy thinking the next morning may follow. Over time, these are not just annoyances. They are signs that the heart, lungs, and brain are not recovering properly during sleep. Decades of research have now confirmed these risks. A comprehensive review published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine concluded that alcohol suppresses REM sleep and increases sleep fragmentation in older adults. Another study from the University of Missouri found that alcohol use, even at moderate levels, worsens upper airway resistance during sleep and raises the risk of nighttime oxygen drops, especially in individuals over 65. These effects compound existing vulnerabilities, particularly for those with underlying heart conditions or sleep apnea. But there is a gentler path. Sleep does not require sedation. It requires rhythm, peace, and safety. Replacing the evening drink with more restorative practices can not only preserve sleep quality, but also bring emotional nourishment. Listening to a favorite audiobook, sharing stories from your youth, or even reading aloud to a partner can naturally engage the imagination and lower cortisol levels. Soft music, warm herbal teas like chamomile or lemon balm, or a few minutes of slow, mindful breathing all help the body shift into parasympathetic mode, the calm, repair-centered state needed for deep rest. Small changes make a measurable difference. Within weeks, many individuals report fewer awakenings, clearer mornings, and a steadier heart rhythm during sleep. These quiet gains are not just about sleep. They are about protecting the body's ability to heal each night. In older age, every hour of rest carries more weight. Choosing habits that support the body's rhythms is a gentle act of self-respect, one that ensures each night truly restores what the day has asked of us. Number 4. A quiet lack of daylight may be silently robbing the body of deep sleep, emotional balance, and clarity, especially in the later years of life. There was a time when the rhythm of the day was guided by nature itself. The morning sun invited the body to wake, move, and live. As dusk settled, the darkness whispered, "It's time to rest, to heal, to let go." But in the modern world, that rhythm has faded. Curtains stay drawn, screens replace the sky, and for many older adults, especially those who spend more time indoors, the body begins to drift out of sync quietly but powerfully. This internal disconnection begins with light, or more precisely, the absence of it. The body's circadian rhythm, which governs sleep, hormone release, and cellular repair, relies on exposure to natural light to stay aligned. Without that early morning signal, the brain delays melatonin production, pushing sleep further into the night and fracturing its quality. What follows is often misunderstood. Waking up tired, feeling foggy throughout the day, struggling to fall asleep at night. These are not just signs of aging. They are signs of a clock that has lost its anchor. Many feel the change, but don't know the cause. Sleep becomes lighter. Moods shift. Appetite changes. Focus fades. For some, even memory begins to blur. The body, once so in tune with the natural world, now stumbles through the day without direction. The science is precise. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston found that daily morning light exposure significantly improved sleep efficiency and daytime alertness in older adults. In the Netherlands, A study conducted at the University of Groningen found that seniors exposed to greater natural light experienced not only deeper sleep, but also lower depression scores and improved cognitive function. And yet, the remedy is beautifully simple. It does not require prescriptions or expensive tools. It only asks for a return to something ancient and authentic: morning light. Just 20 to 30 minutes outside, sitting near a window, walking along a garden path, or simply breathing in the morning air can reset the body's rhythm. Even on cloudy days, the natural spectrum of daylight speaks to the brain in ways no lamp can. In a world that rushes forward, light becomes not just a source of vision, but also a source of healing. When the body is bathed in the quiet brightness of dawn, it remembers how to rest. It remembers how to heal. It remembers the rhythm it was born with. So tomorrow morning, rise not just to start the day, but to restore it. Open the curtains. Step onto the porch. Let the light touch your face. Give the body a moment of guidance. This small act, repeated with care, may be the turning point between restless nights and peaceful sleep, between confusion and clarity, between simply aging and truly living. Number 5. Falling asleep with background noise, such as television, may feel comforting, but it silently fragments sleep and prevents full nighttime recovery. In many households, especially among older adults living alone or seeking comfort in routine, falling asleep to the sound of a television has become an everyday habit. The soft hum of voices, the flicker of light in the background, the sense of company. It can all feel reassuring at the end of a long day. But as soothing as this routine may seem, it often works against the body's need for deep, uninterrupted sleep. And over time, it can quietly rob the brain and heart of the rest they need most. The brain is susceptible to sound, even during sleep. While some noise may fade into the background, voices, especially from conversation, news reports, or dramatic shows, continue to activate language processing areas in the brain. This prevents complete immersion into the deep stages of non-REM sleep, which are essential for memory consolidation, immune function, and emotional regulation. Instead of entering a steady rhythm of rest, the brain remains semi-alert, monitoring for meaning in the noise. This disruption is often subtle at first. Signs may include waking up more frequently during the night, experiencing dreams that feel too vivid or restless, feeling fatigued despite having had a whole night's sleep, or noticing increased irritability and difficulty concentrating during the day. These patterns are often easily attributed to age or stress, but the root cause usually lies in the sleep environment itself. Scientific studies have confirmed this effect. A 2019 publication in Scientific Reports found that exposure to speech while sleeping significantly reduces the brain's ability to maintain slow-wave sleep, the most restorative phase of sleep. Another study from the University of Pennsylvania found that ambient noise, particularly when accompanied by fluctuating volume or speech, increased the likelihood of micro-awakenings during the night, even if the sleeper was not fully aware of them. Over time, this fragmentation accumulates, leading to increased fatigue, impaired cognitive performance, and even elevated blood pressure. Fortunately, healthier alternatives exist that still provide a sense of comfort while supporting true rest. Natural soundscapes, such as gentle rainfall, ocean waves, or soft instrumental music without lyrics, help create a calming auditory environment that does not activate the brain's language centers. White noise machines, designed to block sudden external sounds, can also support sleep by providing a consistent background sound that masks disturbances. Simple changes, such as setting a timer to turn off the TV within 15 to 30 minutes, replacing it with soft audio, or using a bedside speaker with preloaded nature sounds, can have a significant impact. Over time, the brain adapts to these cues, recognizing them as signals of safety and stillness, rather than stimulation. Starting tomorrow night, consider turning the television off before lying down to sleep. Choose instead a a calm, wordless sound or simple silence. Let the brain fully surrender to the darkness without needing to stay half awake. In that stillness, the body can begin to repair, the heart can rest, and the mind can awaken renewed. Actual sleep doesn't require background company. It needs peace and quiet. And peace, once allowed in, gives back more than any show ever could. Number 6. What steals sleep in later life is not always age. It is often quiet disconnection from nature, from rhythm, from emotion, and from the inner life that once guided rest. It begins gradually. Sleep becomes lighter, mornings feel heavier, and the quiet stillness of night no longer brings peace, but unease. Many assume it's just the body getting older, but beneath that surface lies something more profound, a slow drift away from the very forces that once made sleep sacred. In earlier years, life was full of rhythm, morning sun, evening walks, conversations that lifted the heart, and rituals that marked the day's close. But in older age, that rhythm often fades. Days blur together, screens replace windows, emotions get pushed down or ignored. The body, which once danced in sync with nature's cycles, now moves out of time. Sleep cannot thrive in that kind of disconnection. It requires cues, light to signal wakefulness and darkness to induce the release of melatonin. It needs routine. And more than anything, it needs emotional safety. When these elements go missing, the body no longer knows when to let go entirely. Cortisol levels stay elevated. Thoughts race quietly beneath the surface, and the nervous system remains half awake long after the lights go out. The symptoms are familiar to many older adults: falling asleep too late, waking too early, and feeling tired despite staying in bed all night. There may be emotional flatness, forgetfulness, or a quiet sense that the spirit feels dimmed. These are not random. They are the signs of a system out of sync, not broken but disconnected. Research validates this. A study from the University of California, San Francisco, found that older adults who maintained consistent daily rituals, received adequate light exposure, and expressed their emotions experienced significantly deeper and more restorative sleep. Another study in the Journal of Sleep Research found that a perceived lack of purpose or routine was directly linked to fragmented sleep and increased nighttime cortisol. The science is precise. The body needs rhythm, but even more, it needs reconnection. Reconnection begins not with effort, but with attention. Gentle, intentional moments before bed can restore what was lost. A short reflection at dusk, a quiet prayer, or breath of gratitude. Sitting in silence as the sun sets, simply acknowledging that the day has ended. These rituals don't require technology or time, only presence. Each of these acts sends a powerful message to the body. The day is done, and it is safe to rest. With repetition, sleep deepens. Morning returns with more energy, clarity, and warmth. Tomorrow night, try just one of these. Turn off the TV a little earlier. Write a line about what gave the day meaning, or simply sit in a dark room and listen to your breath. In that moment, sleep may not arrive as something forced, but as something welcomed. Aging is not a loss of life's rhythm. It is an invitation to return to it, more softly, more wisely, and more awake than ever before. So what does this all mean truly? It means that the journey to health after 70 isn't about doing more. It's about doing differently. It's about noticing the quiet choices that shape our nights and, through them, our lives. The food we eat, the light we absorb, the thoughts we carry, the way we fall asleep. These aren't small. They are the architecture of well-being. And when we begin to see them clearly, we begin to take back control. Real change doesn't always require significant steps. It can begin with something as simple as silence, as breath, as light through a window. What matters most is consistency, kindness toward the body, and a willingness to reconnect with what once came naturally. If something in this story spoke to you, We invite you to share your reflections in the comments. What habit do you plan to try tonight? We read every word and would love to learn from your experience. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to our channel now. Each week we share more insights, drawn from research and real life, to help guide your path forward. Thank you for watching. We hope this message becomes more than just a moment. Let it become momentum. May the evening ahead be gentler. May your sleep come more easily. And may every sunrise find you just a little more alive, a little more whole, and deeply at peace with the life you continue to build.